welcome. My name is Jennifer Williams and we are here at Infusion Performing Arts, and I am going to go through some stretching with you. So we're going to do a little bit of body warm-up, very light and relaxed, and then we're going to do some stretches to stretch our whole body from head to toe. All right, let's start with some head rolls. Really nice, slow head rolls. Good, let's go the other way. Good, let's roll our shoulders. Get those shoulders moving. And go one at a time. Good, forwards one at a time. And forwards, both shoulders at the same time. Good. Now we're going to drop. Head down first. Roll your body. Bend your knees. Touch the floor and stretch back up. And your head should be the last thing that comes up. First thing that drops down. Bend down. And then rolls back up. One more time. Good. So now we're going to stretch up and stretch up. Stretch with this arm. Try to get a stretch all the way through this shoulder blade and armpit. Stretch. Good. And keep stretching. And one more. Grab your hands and pull. Good, and let's pull to the other side. And we're going to reach for the floor. Now, if you can't reach for the floor, go ahead and stop wherever you need to stop. If you can reach for the floor, go ahead and touch the floor. If you can grab your ankles, go ahead and do that. Drop your head, let it hang. Bend your knees a little bit. Go ahead and do that. Just let that head hang and drop, and then roll back up. And we're going to do it one more time. Reach up and drop forward. Again, however far you can go, be it hanging, touching the floor, grabbing your ankles. Just bend your knees a little bit if you need to. Let your head hang and roll back up. Good. Let's do our next one where we put one foot behind. We're going to put our hands on the ground and that foot stretches back. We're stretching this hip flexor of your straight leg. And then stretch those hips, push those hips back. Try to stretch both legs straight. You can keep your hands on your leg if you're not able to go all the way down, or you can touch the floor. Then, for an additional stretch, try to put your nose on the knee of your front leg. And go back down. Stretch that back leg back. If you can, drop both down to both elbows. Give your bent leg a good stretch right in the hip socket. And then come back up. Stretch both legs. This time I want you to try to flex this front foot. Get a good stretch from your Achilles tendon all the way back behind your knees. Good. Let's swing around to the other side and drop back down. Stretch that hip flexor of the straight leg and push up, straighten both legs. Remember, hands on the floor, or you can put your hands on your ankle if you're not that flexible and need some support. If your hands can touch the flex that front leg. If you need to help your foot, go ahead and grab your foot and help flex it back up. Good, and now you're going to come to center. Feet in a wide stretch, and you're going to come both hands to one side. Again, if you need some support and you're not that flexible, you can grab your ankles. You can grab at your feet to the floor. And if you're feeling a little stretchy, go ahead and try to put your nose to your knee. Good, let's do our other side. Okay, remember, you can grab your ankles if you need support. You can touch the floor, and if you're feeling a little stretchy, go ahead and put your nose to your knee. Good job. All right, let's go ahead and have a seat. We're going to do a couple seated stretches just to get our legs fully stretched. So we're going to start first in a straddle. It doesn't have to be a really wide straddle. It can be as far as you need it to be, but we really need to make sure that our toes and our knees are facing the ceiling, so that way we have great alignment into our hips. We are going to stretch up above our heads and lean over to one side. You want to try to see the ceiling through your arm, and if you need to stop here, because this is where your stretch is, that is fine. If you can go further, go ahead and stretch further. We're going to hold our stretch so our muscles get nice and long, and then you can come out of it. Let's stretch up one more time to the other side. You can stop here if this is where it's comfortable for you, or you can stretch a little bit farther. Good. Now, you're going to reach up, but you're going to twist your torso and try to lay your nose on your knee. Now again, if you're not that flexible, that's fine. Just go as far as you can, or if you need to put your hands on either side of your knee, that's fine. If you reach out a little bit farther, you'll get more of a stretch, and then from there, try to touch your nose down to your leg. But only go as far as you can go, and then hold for a few seconds before lifting up, so that way your muscles get a really good stretch. Okay, let's try it. Reach up, twist our body, and reach down. And let's try our other side. Reach up, twist your torso, and drop down. Trying to remember to keep both feet, knees and toes, looking at the ceiling. Okay, now center. If you're not very flexible, that's fine. Just take a couple of reaches out to the center here and hold. If you are feeling a little adventurous, then go ahead and put your elbows on the ground. If you're feeling super bendy, go ahead and try to lay your tummy or your nose on the floor. Your choice. But again, we're going to do this 2 times. So go as far as you can, hold for a couple breaths, and then come back up, and then we'll try it again. So this time I'm going to put my elbows on the ground. We're going to hold here for a couple breaths. And come back up. And then now, you can either go back to that position you were just at, or try a little bit harder one. So for me, for this case, I'm going to try to go a little bit farther. And I'm going to hold for a few breaths there. Ready? And breathe. Good job. Okay, come back up. We're going to put our feet together, in our butterfly position. Now, some people's knees may be almost touching the ground, or they might be up here. Everybody's body is just a little bit different. So try to open those hips out as much as you can. They don't have to be touching the floor, but we just want them to go that direction. Keep trying, that's the most important part. So try to open up those hips, try to open those knees. The reason why it's called butterfly position in a lot of ways is because you're pushing those knees down, so it kind of looks like butterfly wings. So push those knees open. So now, what I would like you to try to do is lay your chest or your nose down to your toes. Again, go as far as you can and keep trying. Hold for a couple breaths. Come back up. Good job. This time we're going to try to go just a little bit farther and see how close you can get to your feet. Ready? And go. Good job. Okay. Grab one foot, hug it up to your chest. Get a good stretch into this hip socket over here. Pull it real tight. And now we're going to rock back and forth like you would rock a baby. Getting a good stretch when you lean into that hip. And then twist like a washing machine. Good job. Now grab those toes, and I'm going to turn my body to the side so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to grab those toes or your ankle, your choice, and stretch. You want to try to keep that back. You don't want to be rounding back here. Try to sit up as tall as you can and grab that foot. Now if you need to bend it, because that's more comfortable, that's fine. But really get a good stretch behind the back of that knee. If this doesn't stretch you, try to pull it a little bit tighter until you feel that stretch. Hold it for a couple breaths. And let's switch legs. Hug that foot nice and tight. Get that stretch in this hip socket. And let's rock it like a baby. Good. And twist like a washing machine. Good. And I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Grab either your toes or your ankles and stretch. You want to try to sit up as tall as you can through your spine. You don't want to be sitting back here. That's not going to do you much good. So try to sit tall on your spine and then pull that leg to you. Again, if you need to bend it a little bit, that's fine, because maybe your tendons back here are too tight. That's fine, just keep trying to stretch it a little bit more every time you do this stretch. Very nice. That was a good couple breaths. Our very last thing that we're going to do today before we're done is we're going to do our seal stretch. If you are a dancer, if you've had a dance class or maybe a yoga class, this might be familiar to you. So we're going to lay on our stomachs and we're going to stretch out our backs. Okay? So let's lay on our stomachs. And your legs are going to be behind you. You're going to put your hands right here by your chest and your shoulders. And you're going to push up. Keeping your legs nice and straight behind you. And relax your spine. If this hurts and you're not able to, you can start here on your elbows. Start here and lift up with your head, lift up with your chest as much as you can. And then if that starts to get comfortable because you're able to do that, you can always put your hands down and stretch out from here. So here's a mid-level stretch. And then once this feels good, then you can start walking your hands closer and closer.
I'm Ryan Lyon. I'd like to show you another breathing exercise that I think you'll enjoy. It's one of my favorites. It's called candle spread. I'd like you to take your hands, interlace your fingers, create a little candle with those first two fingers. We're going to imagine there's a flame at the end of those first two fingers. Breathe in through your nose. When you breathe out, try to blow out the candle. Are you ready? Breathe in and out. Almost got it. I still see a little flame. Let's try it again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Got the flame to flicker pretty good that time. Let's try one more powerful breath to blow out that flame. Ready? Breathe in and out. Good job. You got the flame. Nice work. Thank you for joining me.